My name is Captain Maurice McLean, and I am your moderator for today's webinar. Joining as a primary speaker is SelfService Class Andre Hall. SelfService Class Hall is an FFD CRM team lead here at IPPS-A. Before we begin, I have a few items to cover about this presentation and the DCS webinar platform. First, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on both the IPPS-A YouTube channel and IPPS-A S1Net training page. Second, if your DCS connection drops during the webinar, please close your browser and use the provided DCS link to reconnect. Next, your microphones and phone lines are on mute. You must press 0 to speak. Please expect a 1 to 2 second lag when speaking. If you would like to download parts of this presentation during the webinar, please use the download icon located below the presentation window. And lastly, please post your questions to the public chat panel so that we can answer them throughout the session. In addition to live responses, all questions and their corresponding answers will be posted with this video to the IPPS-A YouTube channel and to the IPPS-A S1Net training page. Your questions and feedback matter, so please share. So without further ado, let's begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like Captain McLean said, that I am Sergeant First Class Hall. We'll briefly go over some slides before going into the demonstration. First, I would like to address the agenda. Over the agenda, we will go over what is CRM, user expectations, S1 pools and provider groups, CRM, roles and role set class, HR versus IT cases, knowledge base. Our demonstrations will be about SelfService View, search options, agent work center, provider group management. What is CRM? CRM is the integrated application that provides a collaborative format for streaming help desk and customer support operations. Within CRM, you'll find your self-service, where you can do your frequently asked questions and search your top answers. You also have your agents. Agents are described as your S1 pool members and HR leaders with the appropriate subcategories. An important note, CRM is your basic help desk for your HR cases and IT cases. Please look over the slide. Users' expectations. As far as CRM goes, leaders and soldiers' expectations are to search frequently asked questions and top answers prior to submitting a CRM case. This is important because several of your questions can be answered before putting in a case. Search those cases prior to doing so. Users must also monitor submitted cases for further actions or additional details. Monitoring these cases will be shown in our demonstration as well, so please look forward to that. Expectations for our agents. A few expectations are to research submitted cases prior to escalating. Use case notes to fill out the information gaps that the users left out. Case notes are very important when searching and researching the CRM cases. It shows at every level, whether it's the user that submitted the case, the HR professional that submitted the case for a user, agents that are working on that case at different levels and different tiers. It's very important to capture all these notes and submit and research that prior to giving an answer. Also, again, you'll monitor submitted cases for further actions or details. And again, that will be annotated in the demonstrations ahead. S1 pools and provider groups. All cases are initially routed to the lowest level provider group based on the case type. The case types are your HR cases and your IT cases. Your HR cases will be routed to your lowest level, which would be your S1 provider group, or essentially your battalion S1s. while IT cases are routed to their lowest level provider group, which would be the HRC IT Tier 1 Help Desk. A key note is at least 2 to 3 people at your state level should have the provider group administrator role to make edits to both synced and non-synced provider groups. Remember that members cannot be deleted from a provider group, only inactivated. This is for audit purposes so that if it's ever required to look at the history of a case, the system will always be able to validate the time and date stamp, as well as to whom took action to the record or case and what actions were taken. Please look over the rest of the slide. CRM roles and ROWSECCLASS. ROWSECCLASS determines the cases that are both visible and actionable to the user. Basically, certain subcats are provided unit-level CRM manager, your HR professional, and your provider group administrator. Within these ROWSECCLASSes, it will give you the ability to action certain cases. Now, even though you might be able to be notified on these cases, without the proper security role, you might not be able to action these cases. Please look over the rest of the slide. HR versus IT cases. From the FMD standpoint, we are experiencing a lot of issues with the user submitting HR cases that should be submitted as IT cases, as well as vice versa. HR cases are your HR and pay-related cases. For example, requests for processes, questions on policies or regulatory guidance. IT cases are cases that are system errors, access errors and issues, enhancement requests, data interface errors. An example, when a soldier attempts to do an action, but an error is received, or action failed to process, and or has generated undesired data results. Now, key thing to think about, some IT cases are pay impacting. So don't get in the mindset that just pay impacting cases are HR cases. For example, I am a IPPS-A live state and I have an IST from another state that's not an IPPS-A. This is an integration issue or an interface issue. That would be an IT case. HR cases are cases that would regularly be submitted to your S1s, to your readiness NCOs. HR cases. Continue to read the rest of the slide. Knowledge base. When working on cases, agents and HR professionals can search multiple solutions utilizing these knowledge bases. Now, these knowledge bases give you your top answers, and you're able to search for different solutions prior to submitting the case. Now, just because you can search for these cases, don't mean that, or search for these solutions through the knowledge base, does not mean that you manage the knowledge base or that you can edit the knowledge base. Please review the slide.
So I'll go ahead and jump in on this particular one. This is just a pictorial of the way forward with how the program is updating the knowledge base or the solution libraries within the base with new solutions that link users to the S1net that now contains some new job aids and webinar references. So here in this example, a person is looking for, let's say, a dual persona solution. This particular one populates, and at the end of these new solutions or updated solutions, you'll see a link to S1Net. Now, from S1Net, you'll be taken to this home page where it is our IPPS-A home page or dashboard. And using the guides folder, you can actually access the step-by-step how-to job aids associated with the solution that you recently searched. And if you wanted to go back and look at, let's say, a webinar that might have covered that topic, then you can type in or select this webinar series folder or the training folder to access previous webinar material. And in addition to S1Net, the recorded webinars are available on YouTube by selecting the IPPS-A YouTube channel, the playlist tab, and then webinar series. And so we're now going to transition to our demonstration led again by SelfService Hall.
In regards to unit level CRM, the SelfService View provides key tiles of importance in which I will briefly discuss. First, the announcement tile, or as many of us have heard it phrased, the splash page. This tile provides flash notices that may impact users, such as known issues, workarounds, current issues, or current releases and data fixes related to the system and CRM cases. As you can see, it provides your announcement details of certain things that are happening in the system. Like mentioned earlier, users must monitor submitted cases for further actions. To monitor those cases from the Self-Service iHub, this can be viewed through your notification icon. Just a note, there are several ways of viewing or monitoring cases. This is only one of them. You can see your actions, and alerts. Moving on to your access request tile is also important as to requesting assigned roles in which dictate what the user can and cannot do in CRM. That will also go back to your role set class from the slide earlier. You will also find the IPPS-A Help Center tile. From this tile, you can monitor your open cases assigned to you as well as create cases on your own. Transitioning now to the search option demonstration. You can search frequently asked questions and top answers prior to submitting a CRM case by simply viewing all and by category. Your top answers tile allows users to search for answers using keywords. I'll provide you an example. How do I request additional UICs? Notice when you do your search for answers, you can put keywords in there, individual keywords, or you can put a whole sentence in there. The more specific you are, the more drilled down answers you are going to receive. Drilling down, you can see requesting additional URCs. Also to mention, 82 people found this helpful. Like mentioned before, you could put the whole phrase, or you can put a simple thing as IST in the search. Under IST, you could say IST of a member from a non-IPPS-A state to an IPPS-A state. Now, the knowledge base has been starting effort to publish updated and reliable solutions as we gather and receive it from combined efforts within the field. Next, we will discuss the Agent Work Center. The Agent Work Center gives agents easy access to their assigned cases and work lists. They can also view metrics related to their cases and launch specific cases and reports from this dashboard. Under your My Cases section, and the Agent Work Center, the agent has multiple views, which allows agents to better access their caseload. My open cases, gathered from the states, a lot of states suggest to use unassigned cases to my provider group. So cases that are sent to your provider group, but they're unassigned to a specific individual. Using the work list is a good way to organize cases and allow for modifications of multiple cases at once. In group work lists, cases can be easily reassigned to other agents if necessary by selecting the case and reassigning. Under the HR professional, and you will navigate to the case management tile. Click on the Member 360 view. Navigate to the Provider Group Administration, and then select the Provider Group Work List. Add a new value. We'll select NG Web Test 3. Select Add. Put in your description, NG Webinar Test 3. Add your users. Select your specific user. Very important, you have to select a group owner or a manager. You can also add other group members. Select the user ID and save. You have now successfully created a provider group work list. Now with provider group management, it's a two-part process in IPPS-A. First, you create the non-sync provider group work list, and now you create the work group. Select work group. Add new value. Put in that same provider group ID, NG Web Test 3. Add. Add the description of your provider group, NG Webinar Test 3. Provider group POC. For your notifications, select both. Your provider group work list name, since you've already made that provider group work list on the previous step. Preferred notification, both. Fill out your email address of the owner. And this is where you'll add your group members as well. verify the employee ID. All right, prior to saving, you must click on the Assign Group Criteria tab and select the region. The region defaults to global. Click your region ID. Now you can save. You have now successfully created your non-sync provider work group. This now concludes our demonstration for today.
All right, well, I want to say thank you for that demonstration. All right, so thank you again for attending today's webinar. Please visit our IPPS-A social media pages and subscribe to our YouTube channel for webinar postings, functional videos, and news from the IPPS-A team. Again, thank you all for joining.